Many blessings, my loves. My name is Rebecca, and this is my full moon report for Pillars of the Moon. So, yay, welcome, welcome, everyone. Wow, what incredible, powerful energies we've been having the last few weeks since that new moon. Oh my goodness, imagine you've all been feeling this with all the solar flares and solar storms and all the auroras that we've been seeing in England where I'm living. Like, it's been profound on many levels. Um, just the way things are shifting and changing has been really noticeable for everyone I've been speaking to. And so yeah, with this full moon coming up, there's a lot that I want to share as usual. So I'm going to go into sharing a screen with you all. So I've been having a lot coming in over this last few weeks, especially through our shaking practice, which we do, where we're shaking our body and chanting mantras. And I've been feeling like the Taurus field basically a lot. And so I've just created this piece of art here because I wanted to share a bit with you around the Taurus field because Uranus is right on the cusp of Taurus. And so Taurus and Aries. So right after this full moon, before the last quarter moon, Uranus will be crossing the border fully into Taurus, and that's pretty awakening for all the Taurian energy. And so, like, it's been coming through my shaking meditations, but also just like randomly just hearing like it's the Taurus field, it's the Taurus field, Taurus is the Taurus field, and just getting these um downloads coming in about the Taurus field. And the Taurus of the human, as you can see in this first image here, is the electromagnetic field which is coming off of our heart. So the heart is the center of the Taurus field of the human, and it's the electromagnetic pulse that creates our aura or our energy body. And everything is energy, right? Everything is this pulse, this life. And so this is coming, this is the heart, which is connecting our upper chakras and our lower chakras. So the heart is like the center of our being, the center of our electromagnetic field. And so Uranus coming into Taurus, Uranus is I connect to electric energy, electricity. So this is like the field of electricity coming into the earth. So this is why I think all these downloads are coming in to do with the electromagnetic field of the earth as well. And so on the next image, you can see this is the Taurus field of the earth. So from the heart of the earth or the center of the earth is this same pulse, which creates these fields of energy around the earth. And many of you are probably thinking, there's a Vesica Pisces. Yes, it's a Vesica Pisces, exactly. So this is about union. This is about love. In the center of it all is love. That's our heart. So our Taurus field as a human is the same as the Taurus field of the earth. And then through further research, I found that there's a Taurus field of the galactic center. So this is an image I found online of, you can see here, this is the galactic center, and this is the pulse of our center of our galaxy. Oh my gosh. So it's all connected. And so the pulse that we're feeling in our heart is the same pulse of the earth. It's the same pulse of our center of our black hole at the center of our Milky Way galaxy. So taking that into like, wow, okay, so that's pretty big, just that information there, right? But what I'm feeling is like through, my shaking practice that we've been doing, like it's really about connecting to the earth as this physical earth with the Taurian energy. And the more we can ground and anchor our energy through our feet down into the physical, the more we can receive from the spirit, from the soul, from the source. So I've found, you just look at a plant, if it's not deeply rooted, a big gust of wind comes along and it's fallen down and there's no more plant. So a lot of my practice recently has been about anchoring in my physical body through self-care, through grounding, through dance, through like love of my physical body and exploring the senses, smelling the flowers, like really taking time, like cultivating food and harvesting food and really getting that physical connection. And the more we can be in that physical bodily connection, the more we can receive from spirit. The stronger we are, the stronger our tree, which is the next image I'm going to show you. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the symbols of Pisces, Aries, and Taurus as well. I will probably go into this a bit more in my new moon report, so I'm not going to share loads about this because the new moon is going to be in Taurus field. My goodness. So like this nature, it's everywhere in nature, but it's reflected into us like this journey of the soul coming into the earth, the spirit coming into the earth. And so when you see like the owl here, the owl is like the visionary or the messenger of the night, of the dark, of the inner dream realms. It's the messenger of the psychic and all that we can't see in this physical reality. So the owl has the Pisces symbol on its eyes. So, and this is connected to the Taurus field. So when you're looking at the Taurus human here, it's the same shape as the shape of the Pisces symbol, which is the electromagnetic field, which is our connection, our spirit connected to the earth. So then we're coming into the Aries constellation. If you look at the shape of the ram, it's also the Taurus field. Look at the two circles of the horns. It's the center down the middle and then coming out and round. And it's this continuous circling of coming through the heart, the center of the being. And then we've got the cow as well. And you'll notice how I used a female cow for the Taurus, because I believe, I believe, yes, that the Pleiades, the seven sisters, is the womb, and they are the midwives of our soul, and they are bringing through the seeds from the spirit of Pisces, and then separating through the Aries energy into I am and coming into a physical Taurian body. So the energy that comes between Pisces, Aries, Taurus is a journey from us being connected to the ocean of spirit, soul, and separating Aries into the I am, separate from the all, but still connected always by the cord, Ardeshka here, coming into a physical reality. So as I've shared, we're coming down into the field of Taurus, the Taurus field of the physical earth from spirit. And now I've got a female cow because the Pleiades as seven sisters is the womb. And you can see I've put a picture of a womb over the head of the cow, and the cow is so sacred in so many religions. We know that it's a very sacred animal through many religions around the world, and like the cow and the milk, connected to the Hathors, the goddess Hathor, is about fertility, life, nourishment, receiving, receptivity. And so when I was feeling like the Taurus symbol down here, it's like the circle is the earth, and this half circle here is like the bowl receiving. Taurian energy is receiving. The midwife is receiving the baby. The mother is receiving the baby in its hands, coming down to the physical of the earth. So it's profound. It's like, whoa, I just wanted to share this with you because, this is what's coming through me at the moment. And there'll probably be more layers evolving you know, through, you know, to the next new moon as Uranus moves fully into Taurus. So yeah, so the Taurian energy receives the spirit into the Earth Taurus field from the spirit, from the galactic center, from the Taurus of the cosmos. You know, so we journey here in our spirit realm through the Taurus field of the galactic center, and we're coming into the Taurus field of the Earth to be received by the mother, the milk, the nourishment, the Hathors, the midwife. That energy of the seed mothers are receiving the spirits, the seeds, through their womb, their galactic womb, the seven sisters, the Pleiades. Oh, okay. Right, I'm going to stop that now. I've been so excited this morning, like looking into this report. I was like, I don't know where this is going to take me today. So, yeah, so then we're going to come on to the tree of life as well. So, as above, so below. This is a symbol of the tree of life, and I've just put an image of the torus field of a human and our heart and how it's reflective of the trees as well. But the tree of life is a symbol of the roots, like the root chakras down here, the physical, and then the upper chakras and the spirit realms. So, you know, you see like this as above, so below, but the electromagnetic field of the Taurus field comes through the tree of life, you know. So when we die, when we cross over and our spirit ascends, we go back up into the cosmos, into the up here. And then when we die, we're back down in the underworld, just like a seed, right? The underworld, upper world, whatever you want to see it as, it's the spirit realm. You know, some people see it as above, some people see it as below, but you know, it's the spirit, so it's not in the physical. So whether it's upper or lower or inward or whatever, you know. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you as well. And then, my lovelies, let's go into the live sky. Now we've done that little bit of a Taurus field transmission. So, full flower moon in Scorpio. So we're calling this the flower moon because there's flowers everywhere. We're in the summer now, in the northern hemisphere at least. And it will be in the stars of Scorpio. So the time will be 14:53 exactly, 23rd, which is Thursday for us in the UK. This is all the GMT time zones that I'm using. So you can see the moon here in its fullness in the constellation Scorpio or Scorpius, and pretty close to royal star Antares. So the moon will cross over Antares that night. So Thursday night, the moon will be aligned to royal star exactly. So the energy of, for us, Thursday afternoon coming into Thursday night and early hours of Friday morning will be when the moon is aligned to Antares. And Antares is another interesting one, you know. So I wanted to share about Antares and this full moon, you know, before I even go into the chart, because when you look up Antares on the internet, you know, you'll get stuff coming through, rival of Mars, connected to war and death and destruction and endings. Ah, right. So that's one aspect of Antares. Then when you fish around a little bit deeper, which I really love doing, you know, I found myself looking into different astrologies and astronomies and different ways that people have understood Antares. So when I found myself looking into Chinese astrology, I found that Antares is connected to the Azure dragon. So the Azure dragon is one of the dragons, one of the many dragons that the Chinese connect to the cosmos, the guardians of the cosmos. And of course, it's the year of the dragon. So this felt perfect. When I started looking into this, I was like, wow. So this particular dragon, the Azure dragon, starts at Spica. This is where its horn is. and it moves all the way through Libra constellation Scorpio and ends in Sagittarius. Its tail is around here. So this dragon is connected to the Lord of the Seed. You know, it's also connected to the creator of prosperity. This is not considered a destructive dragon. This is known for its wisdom and majesty of power. So just feeling into the frequency of that, you know, and how that feels. So, and when we're thinking of this time of year, so in the Scorpio season, so when the sun is in Scorpio for us in the north, you know, we are in the time of Samhain. So we're in the time of death and endings, and the seeds are falling to the soil. So when I was thinking of, oh my gosh, of course, it's the gatherer of seeds, and that brings prosperity. So the seeds at the end of the autumn, Virgo, the harvest mother, is harvesting the seeds and gathering them into the soil. And that which is gathering the seeds into the soil is the dark. It's the dragon of the dark. And I think, you know, with Antares being connected to Scorpio and having this more darker energy, there's this like cultural association with the dark as being bad or negative. But you know, the sky is dark. When you close your eyes, you're in the dark. The yin is the body, the physical, the inner worlds. You know, it's only what we make it, isn't it? The dark. So my association with the dark is like, wow, the galactic center, the black hole, the vagina, the universe, like take me in. You know, I want to go into the dark. I like the dark. It's where the dreams are born. And that's where the seeds come from. This is why I guess the Chinese connected it to the creator of prosperity, because we can't have prosperity without the death of the old. You know, we have to harvest the old year before we can start again. So what does that mean, you know, for this full moon? You know, that this connection to Antares, you know, this is really about gathering together the wisdom of the seeds, you know, of all of the, especially for those of you in the Southern Hemisphere who are actually harvesting now. You're coming to the end of your, you're in autumn now, right? So you're harvesting all of the seeds of the year. And those of us in the Northern Hemisphere, you know, we are coming out and there's roses everywhere and flowers and it's beautiful and smells great, you know. But none of that would have been possible if it wasn't for this, if it wasn't for Scorpio and Antares and the gathering of the seeds in the autumn and the winter to make the new flowers for the next year. So the frequency of this full moon, you know, it could be whatever you want to make it, basically. I feel like, you know, the Scorpio energy, it does have this energy of endings, of cycles, and it does have this energy of depth and intensity and power, you know. But what is our relationship to that? What is our relationship to intensity, transformation, power? And I feel like this full moon, especially, you know, we could be really tuning into our emotions and these deep secrets that may have been buried inside of ourselves, or even these deep secrets that have been buried or hidden, you know, globally. There could be this kind of like feeling of things bubbling up to the surface, really big emotions, big feelings. And it's coming to the surface to raise our awareness of it. So I also wanted to talk about Pallas. Pallas Athena is an asteroid. And so she is aligned to the full moon, as you can see here, really perfectly. And she's in the constellation Hercules. So that felt really interesting for me, you know, Hercules being the warrior. And that took me on to this other thing about Hercules and Pallas, which I wanted to read out. It's Hercules came on and beat a small animal that grew with each strike until Pallas came along and said to stop it, as it was the strife would not shrink, as to stop as it the strife would shrink if you didn't feed it. So it's saying the strife will only increase if you feed it. So this is about Hercules beating this small animal, which then became this huge monster. The more he hit it, the bigger it got. And so the elegy of Pallas, Athena, let's go back to the live sky in Hercules. This is talking about like war. This is about Pallas Athena is like, she's strategy. She's high emotional intelligence, got the emotions of Scorpio and the moon together. And then you've got Pallas here. It's like a sense of what is right and what is wrong. She is here for justice, especially with matters to do with children and security and home. So she's bringing tough emotions to the surface to really help us to raise awareness. And this, it could be really strong sense of needing to protect the environment and our home and what's important to us. But she's amazing at solving problems. She's great at negotiation. She's all about wisdom and strategy and intuition. So this energy of this full moon, it's really bringing all of these really big emotions, these intense emotions to the surface, to bring an ending of cycles, to be a voice of change and a voice of integrity and justice. So we could be seeing this globally, like this real kind of strong feeling for need for justice and for changing the strategy. This feels like a real call to peace, a real call to transform and change things as a society, as a human race, that we can find a way to change things. And that means, like with the story of Pallas and Hercules, it's putting the baton down, actually, because it will only grow the more fighting, and we all know this, right? So this is what I felt, with these energies of this full moon. It's, yeah, a cease to the war, a cease to the pain, a cease to the hurting of others, and it could be feeling very intense around this full moon. I just wanted to bring that to this video. Yeah, and I'm wanting to go over to the sun. So look at this beautiful connection with the Pleiades. I was saying about the seed mothers of the stars. And they are like, yeah, the midwives of the heavens, the doulas of the soul. And you can see here at the time of this full moon, Venus and Jupiter are so close together. And, so there is a real opportunity here for to grow and expand our heart and the earth, like the physical terrean energy. And Venus is obviously opposing the full moon. So Venus in opposition to Pallas, this is an alchemy of our heart and our mind. This is a blending of reason and desire to create harmony and growth and beauty. It's balancing the reason, the creativity, and using our intuition and our analytical skills to grow in our creativity, to grow in our hearts, to grow in beauty. It's using these energies together to create the world that we want to live in. So, wanting to just also zoom out a moment. So, the Pleiades, like I said, connected to the seed sisters. So we've got more connection to the seeds again, the seeds of what we want to grow. So I feel like at, the time of this full moon, we could be really feeling this desire to create this beauty. And there could be a lot, with the Pallas energy of creating strategies, and finding the wisdom to really process our emotions. And there may be like a needing of release, powerful release of these emotions in a way that is helpful and can help us grow. So yeah, the Uranus, look, it's like right there. It's right there. This is the line of Taurus. Oh, wow. So it's such a powerful energy, with Uranus about to move into Taurus. And like I was saying, right at the beginning with the electromagnetic fields of the Earth, it's bringing that electromagnetic awareness into the physical. That when we're connected to our heart, Venus, we can expand, Jupiter, our soul self, sun, into this physical reality, into creating security and safety and resources for all that we want to create and live in this physical reality, so that we have that power, and that power is in our heart and our womb. Those of us who have wombs, at least. But even if you don't have a womb, you still have the seeds. You're the carrier of the seeds. So the creativity in the heart, they're really working in union to create what we love and love what we create. So when we're bringing that Taurus field into our body, up through our coming down, you could bring it up or down, however you want to do it. But I feel like when we're bringing things from our heart, or we could say if we have a clear energy field, we've got our Taurus field moving clearly, we are literally downloading from the spirit down into our hearts, and then our heart is creating that down into our womb, and then our womb is our creative cauldron, or our seeds or our creative cauldron, that we can then create that and birth that into the physical. And it keeps going, this cycle, right? And then obviously when it gets to the end of its cycle, then that will end. And then that ending, that death, that Scorpio, is where the new seeds come back to the beginning of the new cycle. Ooh, so this energy of Uranus moving into Taurus, it's going to be all about this. It's literally going to be revolutionizing the way that we look at the earth, revolutionizing our sense of self, our worth, our security. It's going to be bringing radical shifts and changes to our physical reality. And that's amazing. It really does feel like, I really feel this energy really strongly as a really beneficial energy for the earth. But I also know with Uranian energy, it can bring really unexpected things as well, and things that we didn't see coming to the earth that will enable shifts and changes. And having Uranus transits myself, when I'm in it, it's like the rug has been pulled from beneath my feet and I'm falling and I don't know what's happening. But when you look back, you go, wow, that needed to happen so that I could move into that. So sometimes the changes don't make sense, or they're scary, or they're unexpected. But the changes ultimately, with the frequency of Uranus, is connected to our cosmic self, our higher self, our deepest self. It's for our evolution. So Uranus's evolutionary characteristics are going to be coming into the Earth Taurus field. So, wow, it's going to be an interesting time, right? Yes, so I think I'm going to go into the chart. I think that was all I wanted to share around the live sky. I can feel the energy in me is really, I feel quite buzzy and excited. So I'm wanting to transmit that to you all. Yeah, so looking at the chart, you can see the full moon here, 1 degree. 1 is also connected to the seed. So here we go again, more connection to the seed. And then Pallas Athena, who is So it's the cusp of Libra and Scorpio, which many of you know, Scorpio and Libra were originally one constellation. So, but this is like Pallas right on the end of Libra. It is a call for balance and justice of right and wrong. It's about balancing our heart and wanting to make our heart lighter, and so there could be, it's really powerful energy in opposition to Venus, Sun, Jupiter, Uranus. Like it's bringing like this real, like this reasoning and hopefully problem solving and negotiations, um and from this place of like transformation and endings of cycles. And the full moon is also in trine to Neptune as well in Pisces. So many of you know that the Scorpio energy is incredibly psychic. And so Neptune also in Pisces, very psychic. And in trine, it's like an energy of being able to perceive things, being a bit psychic or a lot psychic. And really like being able to tune into things from a really, with Pallas here, like quite mature and a high emotional intelligence that comes from a deep intuitive knowing of how things are and how things are working and flowing. Um, and yes, it could be revealing things. Like I keep getting these words of revelations of things that have been hidden, and Athena bringing this voice of truth and justice and change that will enable these energies over in Taurus to really amplify. And what else did I want to share? So the energy of Juno is in Leo, and she is making a T-square to a square to the full moon and a square to Jupiter. So many of you know the story of Juno and Jupiter, right? So they were married, they were committed in a marriage. Jupiter's story is, that he wasn't very loyal. So there could be themes coming up around commitment and loyalty, secrets, deception. We've got a big trine to Neptune, so there could be like these deceptions, and we could have this intuition about things and be like, that doesn't feel right, and then we have to process that and maybe face that and allow that to bubble up to the surface and be seen. So this could be bringing up things in our relationship, to our beloveds, and also our relationship to our creativity. Leo is all about the sun and the self and the creation. So Juno here, it feels like there could be like a block around our creativity or even our sense of worth, valuing ourselves, valuing our creativity, believing that we can do it or that we have the resources. So the T-square brings a challenge from Juno, and feels like, what feels like it's like staying committed to that which we value, and also valuing ourselves, valuing our creativity, really looking at, well, what am I growing, what am I creating, and finding a way to stay committed to that. Yes, and Pluto. So let's talk about Pluto. So Pluto is ruler of this full moon because, he's the ruler of Scorpio, and is making a trine which goes to the Sun, Venus, Jupiter, and Uranus. So this is really feels like there's this opportunity for really big transformation here. It feels like we're being asked to step into our power, to vibrate and create change. Vibrate from our heart, Venus, Jupiter, Uranus, Sun, expand our heart energy and our Taurus field to really bring great global change. And we're all having to take steps to come into our power, to come into our creativity, and actually bringing through our soul essence, which has been, through the Pisces journey that we had when the sun was moving through Pisces, crossed over the North Node, met with Chiron. We've had this chance to really look at our destiny and our soul's purpose and what we're meant to be doing in this world. And now we're coming into Taurus. It's actually time that it's making it happen, taking steps to move towards that which we want to see in our world, the lives that we want to be living. And how do we get to that? So it feels really quite like practical steps to really creating that life. And there is a grand cross aspect, which is a big square that goes all the way around and creates a cross in the middle. So the players that are involved in that is you've got, well, Mars and Chiron are with the North Node for a start, and I've spoken about that in past videos, but this is real action towards healing and moving towards our collective destiny and our collective dream, our collective vision. And so the two T-squares, we've got Vesta in Gemini, the sacred fire, and we've got Ceres in Sagittarius. So these energies are working in a grand cross, which can feel like for me, feels like a bit of a stuck energy, or an energy that is challenging us, that's meaning like we have to move through some blocks here to actually get the car going into the destiny, right? So what is holding us back? What is that which limits us? And I do feel like there's a connection between the Juno energy and really maybe having to ask ourselves, like, how can I value myself more? How can I be more in my body and love my body, love the earth, feel the connection to everything? The Taurus field that vibrates from my body, vibrates through the earth, which vibrates through the cosmos. Like, it could really be bringing to the table all of that kind of desire to create and that desire to be in our soul's mission. So Vesta in Gemini, it's like that devotion to unity, that commitment to togetherness. I see the Gemini energy as the twins. It's the energy of the twin, and like coming together in union, being devoted to that union. And then we have Ceres is in Sagittarius and really wanting to be nurtured through exploration of something radically different to what we've always done. So how can we use these energies to move towards the North Node and Chiron and really start to, I guess, step away from the familiar to risk drowning? It's like when we're coming into this North Node in Pisces, there is no going back. Like I read this beautiful poem about, when the river gets to the ocean, it can't turn back. It has to merge with that which it's meant to be, its destiny, and we can't go back. And so we've come so far now that all is left to do is just take the risk and be brave. Bravery, Mars, healing, like having the courage to step into something new and to actually start embodying that which we really truly are. And that is the great work of today. I feel like, how can we be more authentically ourselves for the earth? And this is what the earth needs. The earth needs us to be taking care of ourselves, but also taking care of the earth. And this brings nurturing, it brings support, it brings connection, it brings like this, like the Taurian energy wants to feed, right? It's that mother's milk. It's the mama who just wants to feed her babies. It's the earth mama that's feeding her children, so the earth is so abundant. Like there's enough for everyone here, and how can we as humanity really reflect on that, and how can we create containers of resources that are more cyclical, that can flow to everyone. I keep getting this, Arthur and the round table. It's like creating that circle of fairness so that everyone is fed and it's equal and the resources are shared in a way that is heart-centered and abundant, Jupiter. So yeah, it feels like this energy coming through for this full moon. So yeah, anything else I want to talk about? Yeah, the Black Moon Lilith in Leo. So Black Moon Lilith is also in trine to the Sun and Venus and Jupiter and Uranus. And so this is looking at our fears around our creativity and our leadership, how we can overcome those fears. And sometimes the only way to overcome the fear is to just feel the fear and do it anyway, right? It's like the fear can stop us from becoming who we're meant to be if we let it. Like Athena was saying to Hercules, the more that you keep feeding that monster, the bigger it gets. So how about you just jump in and then realize that it wasn't that big after all? No? Yeah, and Venus is coming really close to her cazimi with the sun. So she will be having her conjunction with the sun. Um, I'm going to do another video on that because I think that's coming up to around the last quarter moon, which is when Uranus is crossed over into Taurus. So I might do an extra little quickie video for you around that because I've got a lot to share around that. I don't want to talk all day at you today. So yeah, I think I'll save that for another video, but that is one of her star points when she comes into cazimi with the sun. So it takes 8 years, 8 Earth years, for Venus to complete her five-pointed star of Venus, which she makes with her sun conjunctions, her cazimis with the heart of the sun. So this conjunction will be happening in Taurus, but it's at the really close to the anti-galactic center. It's really powerful alignment that she's coming into with this star point. And looking at her journey, and all of her star points is quite profound. So I'll probably do another video on that. But what I did want to say about that was that actually Venus has a huge part to play in this, because actually she's right next to Jupiter and Uranus. So the question is, it's about our hearts and our love and our values and how we love and value the earth. And in that is also how we love and value ourselves, our own earth, our inner earth inside of our body. So yeah, this star point feels quite significant with the change of Uranus at the time. So yes, that's for another day. So I'm going to log off now. And yes, I'm hoping that some of you found some of that helpful. Yes, so if you have any questions, please do get in touch, reach out. And yeah, like, share, subscribe, and all of that stuff. Yeah, and it's really wonderful to share my musings with you all. So blessed full moon, my darlings, and I will see you in a week or so. Lots of love. Mwah.